Mr. Bernie speak, we listen.
Thank you very much for joining me. In the year 2025, one might have hoped that the global community would be working together to address the existential threat of climate change, working to prevent future pandemics, working to address the massive levels of income and wealth inequality that exist, working to improve the standard of living of struggling people all over the world. But tragically, that is not where we are today. Quite the contrary. Instead of addressing the major crises that we face, the world is now looking at the terrible war in Ukraine, started by Putin, which has taken hundreds of thousands of lives over the last 3 years. We are looking at the horrific war in Gaza, where, as we speak, thousands of Palestinian children are facing starvation due to Israel's inhumane and illegal war policies.
Netanyahu specifically, not just Israel. We got to be more specific, because I don't believe that the people of Israel support their government.
And now we face a dangerous and escalating war in Iran, which was begun in violation of international law by the extremist Netanyahu government.
Yes.
And the main point that I want to make today is that it is absolutely imperative that the United States not be dragged into this war. Let me say a word about how this war began. On Thursday, Netanyahu launched an illegal and unilateral surprise attack on Iran, bombing targets across the country and killing hundreds of people. Iran has responded with attacks of its own, which have killed dozens of people in Israel. Whatever you may think of the corrupt and authoritarian Iranian regime.
Yeah, the government's bad. Just like we ain't like our government, maybe under Biden, and we're like, does he have dementia? Does he even remember what happened yesterday? Our government is different from the people. The Iranian people is different from the government. For some reason, when they talk about the Israeli strikes on Iran, they talk about the targets, the nuclear targets and the military targets, but they don't talk about the people. But when they talk about the Iranian strikes on Israel, they talk about the people that were hurt. It's weird.
Israel's attack clearly violated international law and the United Nations Charter. While every country has the right to defend itself, they do not have the right to launch so-called preemptive wars of this kind. But let's remember who Netanyahu is. He is a war criminal under indictment by the International Criminal Court for starving innocent people and killing civilians in Gaza. At this very moment in Gaza, Israel...
If you don't know what's going on and you're new and hey, welcome, you're a cave dweller, welcome. People, children in Gaza, the Palestinian people are starving. They're starving to death.
Continues to prevent the UN from delivering humanitarian aid. And just today in Gaza, Israeli tanks fired into a crowd desperately trying to collect food, killing at least 59 people. So it should come as little surprise that Netanyahu ignored international law to start this war with Iran. But Netanyahu's decision to strike also directly contravened the express wishes of the United States, which was seeking a diplomatic resolution to the long-standing tensions around Iran's nuclear program. In recent months, the United States has held 5 rounds of negotiations with Iran to resolve these long-standing concerns. Let me repeat. In recent months, the United States has held 5 rounds of negotiations with Iran to resolve these long-standing concerns. A 6th round of talks was planned for Sunday, but Netanyahu chose instead to start this war. So let's be clear. Israel's attack was specifically designed to sabotage American diplomatic efforts.
Yeah, and now they're like, yo, that's why that Tucker Carlson video we just dropped, and you see Tucker Carlson versus Ted Cruz. He's like, yo, if we help them, that's big, because we planned a meeting. Then Iran going to feel like, yo, y'all planned a meeting for us on Sunday, but they attacked us right before. Y'all just planned that meeting so we have our guard down and we wouldn't expect no attack. That's why y'all did that? They're trying to play us?
In fact, in its first round of strikes, Israel assassinated the man overseeing Iran's nuclear negotiating team. And let's also remember that U.S. intelligence has never indicated that Iran has made the decision to build a nuclear weapon. Just a few months ago, Trump's own director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified to Congress that, quote, the intelligence community continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, end of quote. But Netanyahu chose to attack, crippling diplomatic efforts and risking a full-blown
and Trump told him not to.
Regional war. He is now openly talking about regime change in Iran and threatening to kill the political leadership of that country without any thought to the chaos that might ensue. Let's also not forget that the current Islamic regime in Iran is itself the product of a Western-backed coup in 1953 that overthrew the democratically elected government of Iran and replaced it with a corrupt autocrat. The critical question now is whether the United States will get dragged into Netanyahu's war.
No.
In my view, that would be a disaster. The United States must not be involved with another Netanyahu war.
America first.
Not militarily or financially.
America first.
The United States Constitution is crystal clear. There can be no offensive use of military force against Iran or any other country without an explicit authorization from Congress. No such authorization exists, and any U.S. involvement would therefore be illegal. The United
America first.
States has already provided hundreds of billions of dollars to Israel over the last many decades. Last year alone, U.S. taxpayers provided more than $22 billion.
And our heart goes out to the Israeli people for what happened on when those kids were at the festival, October 7th, and that was like almost 2 years ago, though. 2 years ago, and they still fighting that. Hamas is gone. The tunnels is gone. They still control the food, the water. They won't let nobody in there. Netanyahu got to stop. The Israeli people want him to stop. I read that over 55% of the people in Israel want Netanyahu to stop. They don't support this. This is AIPAC and the political leaders getting paid in our Congress. Now, Trump cannot go to war without Congress, but they should not go to war. We will not send American troops there. 90 million people over there fighting for their country. We remember when they lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. Because even after 9/11, we was like, we fucked up. That's a lot of people, but we really fucking with them for the oil and everything else and blah blah blah. And they like, damn, we still need a reason to go over there. And they openly lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. They didn't have them, but we were like, damn, weapons of mass destruction, so they can come back and do even more. Now we got to go over there. They lied to us to get us over there in the war when it's really about money and greed. And then don't get me started on 9/11, a bunch of stuff coming out about that, and it's a lie. America seemed to be involved, but don't forget the government is for the people, by the people. They don't rule us, we rule them. That's why I like Trump. I think that he was going to say, nah, we can't go. I promise the people no war. I'm going to hold on to that. Netanyahu, you going to stop one. We're going to stop the money. He's like a CEO, right? We all people that voted for Trump. I voted for Trump because I was like, maybe he could be a little tough on Netanyahu because as soon as Netanyahu cross him, he's going to be like, nah. And Trump has told this man to stop this and come to a deal over and over again. Now, Netanyahu, I think he afraid, Trump on my ass. I need to crush Iran. So then, boom, 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 I get him. And then they come to a deal because they so weak. Rather than he come to a deal and lose anything. So I think Iran is trying to hold them off long enough with Trump, all right, this shit going on long enough. If the death toll starts going up and we start to see videos and American people start to see inside Iran and see how it looks and 90 million people going live and seeing it, and if American boots touch the ground, that'd be nasty. Our kids would be dead. It'd be like a fucking great reset, but I think we remember this time. There's a theory out there that that humans may have got so advanced that we like blasted ourselves back into the Stone Ages and we started over. Like that's a theory in the world. And like watch Joe Rogan more. That's a theory. So maybe this time around we remember. Like we remember we're not gonna repeat. History ain't gonna repeat. We're gonna use history and be like, oh shit, wait, hold on, we got to this point before. Oh shit, this time we ain't gonna do it. We're not gonna force them to use nuclear weapons. Iran don't have nukes. We're not gonna blast our fucking self back into the Stone Ages and have to start over again or pollute the air. We're gonna stop this shit. They can't trick us. He can't just come on and say stuff.
In military aid to Israel. Meanwhile, while providing massive aid to Israel, we have Americans sleeping out on the street, unable to afford health care or other basic necessities.
Not to mention the riots, the fucking LA riots. LA gonna need help. They destroy their own self. When blacks and Mexicans, when we riot, we destroy our own fucking places that we live. We don't go to where the people live that we think against us. We go and destroy our own community. But it's really a bunch of fucking hoodlums that just want to rob jewelry stores and shit. It's stupid.
Enough is enough.
But we got to pay for that.
President Trump ran as a supposed peace candidate.
Yep.
In his inaugural address, he said, and I quote, "My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier."
I believe
That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier, end quote. Very fine words. Trump should remember them today. Supporting Netanyahu's war against Iran would be a catastrophic mistake. Instead of going to war, Trump must work with the international community to rein in Netanyahu and urgently push for a diplomatic solution. Netanyahu's illegal attack has made the world a more dangerous place. The United States must not be a part of this war. Thank you very much.
I believe that. Bernie Sanders, U.S. Senator, Vermont.
Trump, Tucker Carlson comes out and says a few words on, I think it was the Steve Bannon, and he had a couple different tweets, Rob. I don't know if you have the tweets. I don't know if you have the videos. Whichever ones you want to prepare. I'm just going to go right into the story.
Listen, Bernie is fucking right. Just listen to him. Like, I believe Trump will see what Netanyahu is doing and like, okay, listen. It's even a shame to say that like certain hands might have been paid off and been forcing Trump, and Trump might be like, all right, I gave y'all enough time. And that's even sick to think about because enough time mean that more bodies will drop. More people will starve. But it's fucking politics as usual, I guess. Like, is it okay to even say that? It's politics as usual? That's nasty to think, but I guess we just accept it as human beings. That's why one day I want to run for fucking politics. Like, I want to be in politics, and you just tell the truth. Tell the truth for the sake of telling the fucking truth. Like, somebody like Trump is supposed to be like, okay, he's successful in business. So successful in business that, like, he can't be paid off in our minds, right? Like, oh, he a billionaire, so, like, what they going to offer him? Like, they going to offer him $1 billion to do something? Like, even if they offer him $200 million to say this, he should be like, nah, I'm a multi-billionaire. Like, nah, I'm not going to take y'all money to a lot of people. That's what we hope. And I hope he remember that when that Yahoo didn't show up to the joint when they was taking out the terrorists, he didn't show up. He just stopped. I think Trump will see what the people want. Even if Lindsey Graham and them sit there and warmonger, I want this, and we should do this, and we should blast them to hell, and Ted Cruz, and it's nasty. Are they going to send their kids out there now? Israel had the right to defend itself, and it did so. But now it's time to stop. I think now it's safe to say Israel, at the beginning of the war, that's why I say the best journalist is Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, PBD, and sometime Piers Morgan because he was a little iffy. But now even his question at the beginning of this was, well, doesn't Israel has the right to defend itself? Like, what is a good response, a just response to this? What is it? Like, who knows? How does it look? Well, Piers Morgan, hey, I think Israel is outdone itself. I think Israel has, at this point, I think it's safe to say, I didn't believe this. I was like, I don't know. With all these people that died at that music events and the babies, and if they killed babies, and if they raped old women and kids, and if they took their head off, and the babies was over here and the heads was over here, what is a just response? Piers Morgan, I think they got it. I think 60,000, maybe 70, maybe possibly 80,000 people killed and starving kids with not enough food to eat and eating the animal feed. I think it's safe to say every American, the average cave dweller would say Israel has met the qualification for a just response. Bravo. I think it has. I'm gonna go ahead out on the limb and say we can be a monolith about that. That is, Israel has met the qualification. It has found a just response. Yes. So Piers Morgan, the question should be to your guest now should be, do you believe that Israel has got its get back? And the person is their fucking logical same person. Their only answer should be yes. Because if they say no, they need to bomb them more. They need more kids to starve. I want to hear the person say no, Israel has not had its just response against the Palestinian people. Because that's still going on under all of this in Iran and everything else. So let me know what y'all think, cave dwellers. Has Israel found its qualification of a just response? Has Israel got its get back? I vote yes. And we should not be involved in this war. Peace in the Middle East.